when one can no longer digest him and yet has one's stomach full of him. Misanthropy comes of an all too greedy love of man and cannibalism, but who asked you to swallow men like oysters? Prince Hamlet. I'm really curious, like what's the goal? What was he thinking? What was Nietzsche thinking when he was writing this book? Because it's like there's a lot of stuff in here, and then you kind of read it, you read it, and then you figure out that okay, you could be talking about too many things, and then there are these one, two key ideas that can be summarized in literally one paragraph. That's it. This entire book can be summarized, or the key takeaways of this entire book can be summarized in one paragraph because you don't have to know the entire thing. You just have to know the one key thing that will change, that will help you. Always in our company, whatever in nature and in history is of my own kind, speaks to me, spurs me on, and comforts me. The rest I do not hear or forget right away. We are always only in our own company. Fame, when the gratitude of many to one throws away all shame, we behold fame. Okay, that is philosophical and poetic, but I didn't understand the meaning of it. When the gratitude of many to one throws away all shame, we behold fame. With the crowd. So far, he is still running with the crowd and singing its praises, but one day he will become its enemy, for he is falling in the belief that this will allow his laziness full scope, and he has not yet found out that the crowd is not lazy enough for him, and that it always pushes on, that it never allows anyone to stand still, and he loves to stand still. Being profound and seeming profound. Those who know that they are profound strive for clarity. Those who would like to seem profound to the crowd strive for obscurity. For the crowd believes that if it cannot see to the bottom of something, it must be profound. It is so timid and dislikes going into the water. Really interesting. Really interesting. I didn't understand the last line, but that's beautiful. Those who know that they are profound strive for clarity. So to strive for clarity, you keep engaging, you keep testing your ideas, you keep throwing your ideas out there, you keep polishing with other minds around you. Those who would like to seem profound to the crowd strive for obscurity. That's just mystery. To act mysterious because you want to obscure yourself. Of eloquence. Who has had the most convincing eloquence so far? The drum roll. And as long as the kings command that, they remain the best orators and rabble rousers. Interesting. Thoughts. Thoughts are the shadows of our feelings, always darker, emptier, and simpler. On moral enlightenment, one has to talk the Germans out of their Mephistopheles and their Faustus. Well, these are two moral prejudices against the value of knowledge. In solitude, those who live alone do not speak too loud nor write too loud, for they fear the hollow echo, the critique of the nymph echo, and all voices sound different in solitude. The music of the best future. I should account as the foremost musician one who knew only the sadness of the most profound happiness and no other sadness at all, but such a musician has never existed yet. Work. How close work and the worker are now even to the most leisurely among us. The royal courtesy of the saying we are all workers would have been cynical and indecent as recently as the reign of Louis XIV. The thinker. He's a thinker. That means he knows how to make things simpler than they are. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, yesterday we had one of the members, or one, we had someone, we had a friend. Let's say we had a friend on the, who was on the live stream and who was talking to us, and we were able to engage, and that was very interesting. Today, let's see if we, if there's, we throw things into out in the ether, and we see what it attracts, and it's beautiful. Let's see. We're also now slowly talking to other friends. Finally, it's been around a week. Today is 15th April. Wow. It's been more than a week and that we are in network school, and now we are meeting talking to our friends around who we left back home, and we are showing them the life over here. We are showing them what are the goods, what are the bads, and I think this is it. your essentials are taken care of, so you can focus on truly doing the things that you want. And for me, what's important is this polishing of minds. We are all rough stones, and the more those stones rub against each other, you are refining, you're refining. In the Brownian motion, you have increased the heat of this chamber to amplify the Brownian motion, which means all the rough surfaces are being polished constantly as you talk to each other, as you interact with each other. And that is exactly what we want. And everybody's focused on building because that's the only thing you could be doing over here. Yeah, there's nothing else to do. Yeah, it's like everything else is a little bit far. So the reason you are here is that you will be engaged in doing the thing that everybody's doing. So that is very exciting. I'm interested that a lot of people are, because it has a high density of such kind of people. Others are being attracted. They're coming over here. We have this one friend who runs this conference call, who's part of a team called Mu Shanghai, and who is over here. And he's a smart guy. He's a doctor. He has done some PhD, and now he is teaching us about certain things. And I'm really happy that we have these really smart people. You want to be around people who are nerding about certain things, and they are in close proximity to you, which means that I can just have a conversation with him, and because he has nerded out and he has done that in-depth research, he can give me the one or two key ideas that will help me. Similar to this book, The Gay Science by Friedrich Nietzsche. You don't have to read this entire book. You can literally go to Claude and you can be like, hey, 80-20, Pareto principle, Pareto this book for me. And it will give you 20% of the things that matter. That's it. That's all. And yeah, it's beautiful when you have all these people who are nerding about certain rabbit holes, and they keep going deeper and deeper. Really excited. It was also interesting to see the Greg Brockman tweet yesterday. That is really cool. Again, I think reducing your cost structure is really important right now. You want to reduce your cost structure, you want to be around people who are smart, and that is it. Tell me more about all the interesting ways how people are using Claude Code. And this is beautiful, like how we have just reduced down our entire setup. I'm just using my laptop right now. No AirPods, no mic. Mic is in there. It shows you that you don't really need anything. You just need, you just need your phone and your laptop and your AirPods, but you don't have to keep your AirPods on. I don't like to keep my AirPods on while I'm live streaming. That's like it's not comfortable to put your AirPods on for like 2 hours and just talk into it and not get any input. And this audio is actually much better. I'm hoping so. And Whisperflow works. That's it. That's all you want. Input is working, output is working, and that's it. Surprisingly wide range of ways. Self-driving documentation. Some teams pairing Claude Code with Playwright to have it autonomously explore the software. Identify gaps in documentation. Write the missing content itself. Turning documentation maintenance into a background agent task. It's also interesting. You have to figure out what work actually matters. You don't want to just be doing everything. You only want to be doing things that matter, like increasing documentation. Are people actually coming to your website and reading the documentation? Personal productivity auditing. One user built a slash command that analyzes the journal entries alongside their Git commits from the past week, spot gaps between intentions and actions, suggest some system improvements like having a personal COO that learns from the patterns. I was also talking to a friend who is all into peptides. They are building longevity network over here, medical tourism. They are kind of building the Prospera over here, and it's interesting. It's like network school is the layer one. They are building the foundation. They're making sure that people can actually live. There is food, and there is housing over here, and then other communities are coming on top, and they are building their L2s on top of it. So longevity network is basically building their L2, and it's very much focused on that. Okay, let's bring all the hardware, all the physical hardware devices that we can bring, all the research that would be really helpful for people over here, and it's really cool. This is it. You want to be around this sort of people who are working on the frontier, whose basic needs are taken care of, so they can keep focusing on let's keep pushing, let's keep pushing. Our book club is growing. We just got, yeah, our book club is growing. That is amazing. Media and audio workflows. People are using Cloud Code to manipulate audio files, convert sample rates, rename them in bulk, and even translate content between languages. Others have had it extract audio from video and handle full FFmpeg transcription pipelines automatically, automating legacy systems with no API. Here's a big one: Cloud Code's computer use capability that lets it interact with any interface a human can see. Browsers, desktop apps, government portals, legacy systems without APIs. I found a very interesting thing which I was talking to a friend about today, that about the book club. It's our book club, and we want to bring in more and more stakeholders of the book club. What that means is that I cannot be present over there all the time, but in my absence, I still want people to be over there who are contributing to the book club. I want people to be over there who are aligned with their vision, aligned with the vision that I proposed, and who are contributing, who are adding their own art. Everybody's adding their own art. People are putting books that they like. Somebody just put Psychology of Money over there, and Psychology of Money is a really good book. I just met another friend, Mark, who is gonna put some Nietzsche books over there. Nietzsche is amazing. I found the Ludwig Wittgenstein book, which was just lying in a drawer up in the lunch area. Now it's part of the book club. So it's like, yeah, we are pulling things it's exactly what we have done over here with Network School. Okay, with such a beautiful connection that we just made. It's exactly what we are doing with Network School. There are really smart minds all around the world who are looking for something. What we have done is that in Network School, we have built this high density of people. We are collecting these people. We are pulling them from around the world, and we are putting them into this high density space. And that's exactly what Network School is. And that's exactly what we want to do over here with the books. There are all these really interesting books that are all around everybody. Some people who are leaving, they don't know what to do with their books. There's some people who bought extra books and they don't want to read them. Some people just want to donate to other books and give like a gift to other people. Like one of my friends, he gave me this gift, the Alabaster Girl, and he likes to give a gift. And some people just want to give someone a gift and kind of change their way of thinking. And that is it. Like, I didn't really read the Alabaster book end to end, but it talks about man needs an adventure. You need to be. It talks. There was a very interesting thing that was kind of a trigger for me. Wow, there was a very interesting thing that was a trigger for me, which is like, when you do something new, where you're on an adventure, you're nervous because you don't know where things are going, and that nervous energy is attractive. And I was like, ooh, I'm too comfortable. I'm not nervous. I need to be nervous. And then we kept pushing. We kept pushing. But yeah, we're really happy. There's a Psychology of Money, really high quality books. People are donating really high quality books for the community. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Cloud Code's combination of web search and coding abilities creates a research powerhouse. People are feeding it data and asking it to play consultant, producing detailed reports with actionable insights. One agency owner built an agent pipeline with Cloud Code that replaced their entire proposal writing process, designed to prototype conversion. People are turning design and inspiration into working prototypes instantly, and building interactive personal tools like custom web apps for reflection or goal tracking without writing a single line of code. writing and note-taking system. Some users also, it's very interesting, how you want to keep things organic, how you want to keep things organic. You always have a vision in your head, but then there's also reality. There's your vision and then there's reality, and then they both keep on going in a direction. You need to be very flexible with your vision. You need to be very flexible with your vision. You need to adapt to it. You want to see how the community reacts. You cannot be too rigid. You have to flow. I think there's something interesting that we have learned. Some users consider Cloud Code the best system they have found for integrating AI into their writing process, since it can read and modify files on your local machines directly. No copy pasting between apps. File and system management. At a basic but surprisingly useful level, people use it for things like clearing storage on their computer, improving image quality of screenshots, and organizing files and folders. Everyone should be using Cloud Code more. Tell me more. Oh yeah, this one is really good. If you could just go there and be like, hey, just organize my files. That's amazing. That's beautiful. It just renames them, organizes them. Skills ecosystem. There's a growing ecosystem of reusable skills, bundles of instructions and templates that teach Cloud Code how to perform a specific task well. You can package things like your company's color palette, typography, and tone of voice into a skill. Automatically applies those standards whenever you ask it to draft a newsletter or pitch deck. The common thread across all these is that people are thinking of Cloud Code less as a coding tool and more as a general purpose local agent, essentially Cloud with superpowers. Yeah, I'm really excited. Like right after this, we are going and hosting an event with Dominic, who's a German guy, a good guy, makes a lot of jokes, really funny, and he's part of the Mu Shanghai team that is kind of building a pop-up city. So, and he's going to be teaching people how to Cloud Code, and I'm excited because I'm not going super hard on Cloud Code. So I want to learn. I want to learn from him. How can I use it? Yes. When was this written? This was, too late. The keys to forget that it's called Cloud Code and instead think of it as Cloud Local or Cloud Agent. Wow. Most creative ways non-technical people are using Cloud Code in their work and life. Clearing space on my computer, improving the image quality of screenshots, downloading YouTube videos. Why would you download YouTube videos? See, so this is the problem. Like, you end up doing things that you don't even really want. Why would I do that? All the images embedded inside a Google Doc. Why would I do that? Like, it's like on one side he's like clearing space on my computer. On the other hand, he's downloading YouTube videos. And then the first instruction is going to be eliminating the second instruction. That's going to be a loop that's going to be going on. Okay, being a random raffle winner from a Google Share submissions. Okay, that is cool. 50 creative ways non-technical people are using Cloud Code. Brainstorming domain names. Okay, high quality leads. I literally just look at what I'm building and identify the top 5 companies in my area that would be a good for a pilot in this. Then I go to LinkedIn, message them. If it's not clear, I do this in the source directory of the code of my app. Okay. Scraping GitHub repos. Yeah, download meeting recordings, put them in a folder. Yeah, be a good human, figure out that by yourself, learn these skills. You don't have to really have AI doing it all the time. I don't know. Why your computer is running slow. Okay, this is a good one. If there's like, yeah, like I fixed something. Yeah, I forgot what was it. I think it was just, I had all the apps open. You just quit the apps that you're not using, and that just saves you a lot of speed. Cleaning up messy invoice files. Yeah, this cleanup is obviously really cool. Building a slide for your child. DIY sub-agent last week to help me build a slide tower for my son. Okay, really cool. Let me ask Grok. Tell me about all the creative ways people are using AI agents in work and life. Réflexion, en cours des agents. It's a pretty cool. I like it. Very very cool UI. But anyways, I think we need to also change the Wi-Fi. This Wi-Fi is not performing the best. Autonomous systems that can plan recent use tools like APIs, browsers, or databases, execute multi-step workflows with minimal human input are exploding in popularity. Chief of staff to full workflow orchestrators. Executive brain dump agents. Okay, let me ask about the peptide because that's. What are the pros and cons of using a peptide? And is this a fad? Should I be even considering using a peptide? You forward a messy email thread, voice notes, Slack rant, categorizes it. Okay, creating more work. That's more work. Creating more work. Uses to offload cognitive overload thing, turning a Sunday brain dump into Monday's prioritize roadmap without lifting a finger. Okay, that is cool. That is cool. Like I can take this entire stream that I have and I can be like, okay, process it and create a roadmap based on everything that we talked about. Sales and marketing powerhouse. Posting agents that scan trends, log insights, draft on-brand posts while you're offline, sales call analysis, automate customer service resolution, recruitment HR agents, creative dev agents, coding agents that don't just write code but spin up sandboxes to test ideas, research alternatives, and flag edge cases, freeing engineers to focus on system design, niche industry wins, compliance agents that monitor regulations and auto-fix errors, data analyst agents that answer natural language questions across databases and generate charts. Personal life OS, hobbies and everyday superpowers, personal productivity orchestrators, email triage, smart scheduling, meeting prep, daily news digest, tools like Lindy, custom setups let you monitor progress from your phone while the agent works on your laptop. Daily routine delegation, job search agents that scan postings, tailor applications and email updates. Okay, this reminds me, like the team should actually offer even the families, any family that is over here, that is a massive sale point for them if you can give them a caregiver for their babies, because when you have a caregiver for your baby, it is going to be such a massive time saver. It's going to relieve their stress so much that it's going to be a no-brainer decision for them. Because right now they are like, oh, only long-termers get caregivers, baby, I don't know what they call it, baby daycare, baby caregiver, person who takes care, baby care, person, baby care, caregiver, that's a caregiver, caregiver, health, fitness, wellness. Okay, daily routine delegation, creativity and hobby agents, travel and shopping, for an experimental. Side hustles, mood aware, content recommenders, or even proactive agents surface reminders like you haven't messaged your friend in a while. Here's a prompt. The bigger picture, the most creative setups blend agents with memory. Tool use, browsing APIs, even controlling apps, human oversight. Okay, I think it's time to go for the feed. It's time to go for the feed. Let's go. Also, let's see what we have over here, what peptides actually are. Mixes together FDA approved medications with largely unproven experimental compounds. Short chains of amino acids. They're not exotic or unnatural. Exotic. Spectrum of evidence. Weight loss, robust clinical evidence behind them. Human clinical evidence is essentially non-existent. Potential upsides. Compared with synthetic medications, they break down into amino acids, which makes them less likely to be toxic. Fat loss, muscle recovery, skin health, injury, healing when used appropriately under medical supervision. can increase IGF-1 levels, which some researchers have suggested could theoretically promote the growth of existing cancer cells. Just because one peptide works well for one specific application does not mean that every peptide will work for any kind of indication. Preventative and personalized healthcare. Most peptides haven't been well studied for efficacy and safety in humans. Taking them is a gamble. Not buying vials from online sellers or following influencer recommendations. Therapies should only be used under the supervision of qualified medical professional. Makes sense. Human computer lab. That's Pixar. Nice. Robots aren't just for laundry and dishes and homes. Le Lamp has a unique constraint today. It doesn't move through space or manipulate objects. The limitation pushes us to think deeply about how Le Lamp can understand human intent and translate it into trajectories that make it feel alive. Singularly focused on defining new benchmark for interacting with technology, one that feels joyful and makes us more aware of a relationship to it. Sunny day, you find a lobster, clear case in one place. So lobster robot. That's an open claw. Don't start up in high school. What if it works? You lose the opportunity you would otherwise have to explore random interesting ideas driven only by curiosity, because while you will indeed learn a lot from a startup, you won't have any choice about what you learn. It's interesting that people say that. I think the most important thing is, do you even have the funds to drive to keep following your curiosity? Do you have the funds to do that? If you don't have the funds, you have to figure something out there. This is the reason why there are little kids in high school who are running these who are trying to sell everything and anything. They're selling Pokemon cards, they're selling car detailing workshop or car detailing shops, all of that stuff.
I don't know if I can create a block. I've got times where I don't feel as creative. Like for me, to feel creative, to have no finish line on my creativity and freedom of my thoughts. I also need freedom of time. Meaning, I'm working on a book, but I've got this 12 o'clock meeting and I have this 4 o'clock meeting. Well, between 1 and 4 o'clock, I'll have 3 hours to go write. No, because it's got a curfew. And I find that I at least need like an 8-day window. There's no curfew, there's no clock, there's no rules, full-on freedom, no curfew. I need about 8 days. And that's when I can really get in flow, knowing that I have that, I don't have a return ticket till way down the road. I do not feel creative and do not get creative when I have a return ticket that's in the immediate future. I don't know if I can create a block. I've got times where I don't feel as creative. Like for me,
no curfew. Complex, making culture pop. You have a lot of constant interruptions to creative flow or stifling and multitasking is a myth. Lock in. Come to network school. Lock in. Spend 4 months and build Army for desktop. Your life architect. It sees your screen, hears your conversation, tells you what to do next. It's like having a second brain that actually pays attention. Open source link below.
By multiple sources. Anyways, shouldn't you get back to emailing your boss? Don't apologize. He's already ignored you twice.
Okay, I'm done.
Hi, sorry, hi.
Hey, what are you up to tonight?
I'm just really tired. I think I want to stay in.
Oh, are you sure? I was going to take you to that place you want to try.
Can we do another time? I'm just tired.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I was going to show you at dinner, but I made you lasagna.
Oh my god, that's so sweet. Hold on, I'm getting another phone call. Sorry, love you. Bye!
The painting was very thoughtful of you.
Omi, let's order Maya some food. Let's surprise her.
All right, I'm ordering Thai food for Maya. Should I order for 2 people?
What? Why?
Well, 20 seconds into the call, I noticed another person in the background. I'll go ahead and cancel that food order.
Actually, I was gonna show you at dinner, but
Behind the scenes of the launch video is super cool. Let's go. Oliver B is working on Tabs Chocolate, now building Bustum.co. We hunt and kill copycats and counterfeits. We'll call below. My neighbor didn't get him. We'll work on this. Okay. Why Chris Dixon reads 50 pages
every day. And part of this is to not use social media and to get off the computer. I think of books as kind of the pro. I have a rule for myself that I have to read 50 pages of a book every day. And part of this is to not use social media and to get off the computer. I think of books as kind of the protein of the mind, and social media in many cases is sugar. I often find like the first 5 minutes, sometimes I'm distracted and everything else, but then I get in the flow. And actually, the reason I have the 50-page rule is that often after read 50 pages, I want to read another 50 pages. So it's like it's enough time to force me to kind of get off the sugar. I have a rule for myself that I have to read 50 pages of a book every day.
Pretty cool. I hope this is what we get people to do. Read 50 pages a day, physical book, leave your laptop, get in the flow state. And that is incredible. Like right now, I just gave this book to one person who's a doctor. She exited her doctory practice, medical practice, to now build an Ayurvedic cosmetic skincare product line. And I think that is incredible. It's all based in Canada, and we were just talking about it. They have kids, and it's very interesting to learn about how they think about this entire space of network school and coming in as a family and enjoying the space and having conversations and meeting interesting people and stuff like that. So I handed her a book, and I'm really curious, like, what happens next. I just handed books to a bunch of people over there, and I'm really curious what happens next. What happens when you are working on these things and then you're like, ooh, let me pull out a book and let me read 50 pages. How does that change? Okay, let's see. War of Art, I love it. Let's see. For the love of the game. To clarify a point about professionalism, the professional, though he accepts money, does his work out of love. He has to love it. Otherwise, he wouldn't devote his life to it of his own free will. The professional has learned, however, that too much love can be a bad thing. Too much love can make him choke. The seeming detachment of the professional, the cold-blooded character to his demeanor, is a compensating device to keep him from loving the game so much that he freezes in action. Playing for money, or adopting the attitude of one who plays for money, lowers the fever. Remember what we said about fear, love, and resistance? The more you love your art, calling, enterprise, the more important its accomplishment is to the evolution of your soul. The more you will fear it, and the more resistance you will experience facing it. The payoff of playing the game for money is not the money, which you may never see anyway, even after you turn pro. The payoff is that playing the game for money produces the proper professional attitude. The payoff is that playing the game for the money produces the proper professional attitude. It inculcates the lunch pail mentality, the hardcore, hard head, hard hat state of mind. It shows up for work despite rain or snow or dark of night and slugs it out day after day. The writer is an infantryman. He knows the progress is measured in yards of dirt extracted from the enemy 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute at a time, and paid for in blood. The artist wears combat boots. He looks in the mirror and sees G.I. Joe. Remember, the muse favors working stiffs. She hates prima donnas. With the gods, the supreme sin is not rape or murder, but pride. To think of yourself as a mercenary, a gun for hire, implants the proper humility. It purges pride and preciousness. Resistance loves pride and preciousness. Resistance says, show me a writer who's too good to take job X or assignment Y, and I'll show you a guy I can crack like a walnut. Technically, the professional takes money. Technically, the pro plays for pay, but in the end, he does it for love. Now let's consider what are the aspects of the professional. Super impressive. So good. The professional dedicates himself to mastering technique. The professional respects his craft. He does not consider himself superior to it. He recognizes the contributions of those who have gone before him. He apprentices himself to them. The professional dedicates himself to mastering technique not because he believes technique is a substitute for inspiration, but because he wants to be in possession of the full arsenal of skills when inspiration does come. The professional is sly. He knows that by toiling beside the front door of technique, he leaves room for genius to enter by the back. This is the beautiful thing about reading books, that it's very 3D. It's very 3D, which means that as you are reading, you are feeling certain things, and those emotions are making you those yeah, you are feeling certain things, you're thinking about a lot of things, and that is very stimulating. When you are watching a YouTube video, you are just consuming content. You're just consuming content, and what ends up happening is when you're just consuming content, what ends up happening is that you just become consumer, and you are just consuming this person's way of thinking. But when you are reading, it's very stimulating. You're thinking of a lot of things. The professional respects his craft. He does not consider himself superior to it. He recognizes the contributions of those who have gone before him. He apprentices himself to them. The professional dedicates himself to mastering technique not because he believes technique is a substitute for inspiration, but because he wants to be in possession of the full arsenal of skills when inspiration does come. The professional is sly. He knows that by toiling beside the front door of technique, he leaves room for genius to enter by the back. A professional does not hesitate to ask for help. Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer in the world, yet he has a teacher. He works with Butch Harmon, and Tiger doesn't endure this instruction or suffer through it. He revels in it. It's his keenest professional joy to get out there on the practice tee with Butch to learn more about the game he loves. Is the consummate professional. It would never occur to him, as it would to an amateur, that he knows everything or can figure everything out on his own. On the contrary, he seeks out the most knowledgeable teacher and listens with both ears. The student of the game knows that the levels of revelation that can unfold in golf, as in any art, are inexhaustible. Wow. Wow, this book is so good. This book is so good. So now I'm thinking, okay, let's pick the fattest book I have. The fattest book I have is Reality Transurfing. Let's pick a page. Ooh, then we can pick a page from Alabaster Girl. Okay. Ooh. The dozing mind wakes up and continues with its monologue. Sometimes an impression of what was glimpsed through the window reaches the conscious mind in the form of intuitive information, but more often than not, the mind pays no attention to these brief visions, because it is so engrossed in its own thoughts. In sleep, the soul can travel anywhere and flies about purposelessly, but when the window opens during waking, the heart specifically sees the sector of the alternatives, space that backgrounds the mind's current thoughts. The soul's gaze is directed towards the corresponding sector of the alternative space where it sees knowledge related to the mind's current thought content. As soon as the window opens, this knowledge breaks through to consciousness. It remembers the short bursts that took place during sleep. It will receive what is called intuitive knowledge, information that comes as if from nowhere, as if pulled out of a hat. An intuitive revelation is sometimes claimed to be a spontaneous flash of mental insight or a solution that suddenly falls into the mind. So where exactly does this knowledge out of nowhere come from? In the conventional world, we people usually close our eyes to this strange type of occurrence and make allowances for it, accepting it as a quirky feature of the mind. Based on the transurfing model, we can see inspiration works quite differently to the explanations people usually come up with. Solution to a problem by logical inference, revelation, the missing link that cannot be obtained from the existing chain of logic. It comes from the alternative space through medium of the heart. The subtle feelings of the heart are manifest as anxiety and depression or excitement and high emotion. All these feelings can be covered by one term, vexation. Vexation. Did you know vexation? It is as if the heart is striving to communicate something to the mind, but cannot quite explain what it wants to say. Lingering anxiety, guilt, the burden of responsibility, and depression can become transformed into physical reality in the shape of our worst expectations. In all these feelings, there is unity of heart and mind. Our worst expectations become a reality due to outer intention. In all these feelings, there is unity of heart and mind, and worst expectations become a reality. Due to outer intention, we know that misfortune never comes alone. With these energy parameters, we shift onto the worst lifelines, where misfortune has no chance of getting lonely. Sometimes an induced shift shoves us into a run of bad luck that takes us a long time to free ourselves from. You will notice that when you experience the state of lingering anxiety, your worst expectations are immediately realized. Outer intention moves you onto unsuccessful lifelines. Our worst expectations become a reality to outer intention. Unity of heart and mind. Unity of heart and mind. Misfortune never comes alone. Long time to free ourselves from. You'll notice that when you experience a state of lingering anxiety, or worst expectations are immediately realized, outer intention moves you onto unsuccessful lifelines, where the situation escalates before your very eyes. The heart actually helps to materialize the misfortune it has foreseen, because it is united with the mind over its worst expectations. You can turn outer intention to your advantage by establishing unity of heart and mind on the question of your best expectation. Transurfing recommends abandoning importance. Transurfing recommends abandoning importance and negativity and consciously directing your thought energy towards the achievement of your goal. As you're already aware, the conscious use of slides can help attune your thought energy, and the same technique can be applied when the window opens, as long as you can catch the moment. Intuitive knowledge and premonitions come to us spontaneously. When this happens, the mind uses the heart's capacity for premonition in standby mode. It simply receives information from the sector the soul has randomly wandered into. So our task is to learn to generate intuitive premonitions intentionally in order to set the heart's sail in the right direction. Rather than simply being intuition, the premonition must be intentionally induced. You have to seize the moment when the mind is distracted and quickly place a slide in the window. The image must contain the feelings you experience from living inside the slide. When you place a slide in the open window, information is deliberately dispatched into the target sector of the alternative space as opposed to being received randomly from the heart. If you manage to insert the slide in the open window, your mind will have touched on outer intention. You might think that you can create the same effect by running a slide lying in bed before you fall asleep. You would think that the slide would gradually slip into a dream and the heart and mind would be united. Yet, as strange as it may seem, this approach does not work. See if you can answer the question, why is there no point in trying to run a slide in your sleep? A transitional zone exists between the moment in which we have an intuitive premonition of an event. So let's ask Claude. In the book Transurfing Reality, how does the author recommend to unite the heart and the mind, and how to bring your ideas to reality. Let's see. Significant attention to both of these themes in married transurfing. Most people live with their heart and mind in conflict. The heart wants one thing while the mind pushes for another. The heart might crave freedom, creativity, or love, but the mind fixates on security, logic, or societal expectations. This inner split creates resistance, making you feel like heart craves freedom, creativity, love. Mind fixates on security, logic, societal expectations, making you feel like you're constantly fighting yourself. His recommendation is to quiet the mental chatter and learn to hear the heart's voice. He argues that the mind is constantly generating thoughts, and this thought churn drowns out the heart's voice, making it difficult to access intuitive knowledge. He suggests that if you stop the train of thoughts and simply contemplate the emptiness, you can hear your inner voice, a voice that has no words. When heart and mind align, the heart produces the passion, vision, and why, while the mind provides the roadmap, strategy, and how. When heart and mind align, the heart provides the passion, vision, and why, while the mind provides the roadmap, strategy, and how. Together they create unstoppable momentum. Zealand describes this unity as a sense of clarity without words, knowledge without faith, and confidence without hesitation. The heart provides the passion, vision, and why, while the mind provides the roadmap, strategy, and how. Together they create unstoppable momentum. Zealand describes this unity as a sense of clarity without words, knowledge without faith, and confidence without hesitation. A practical step toward this unity involves distinguishing between true goals and false goals. True goals resonate deeply with your core values and excite you without external motivation, while false goals are shaped by societal expectations, family pressures, or outdated ideas about what you should want, and they drain your energy.